Hello and welcome back to AFC North. Starting down the line, Mark, kick us off.
Hey, Mark Herman, a.k.a. LA Bengal fan on Twitter, repping the Bengals.
Dave Green, Browns guy.
Jan Davis, Utah, Ravens Nation. Yeah.
Chris Adkins, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh, God.
So we're going to start this episode, unfortunately, with a moment of silence for two people from our AFC North family. Regardless of what team they are related to, we want to take this time to recognize Trey Walker,
Quarterback for the Ravens.
Yes.
And also Aaron Wilson, his wife, Samantha passed.
Yeah.
So we would just like to take our hats off and have a moment of silence, remembering them and wishing their families the best in this grief and loss. So, pardon us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for allowing us to do that. So,
Mark, we're starting the west side of the couch. What's going on in Bengal news?
Yeah, hey, great week for the Bengals. We had a couple people in for visits. We re-signed Brandon Thompson, so added a little more depth. We had already re-signed Pat Sims. Two big signings this week. I've been saying over the last couple episodes that we were going to bring in a veteran wide receiver. I thought it would be Curley from the Jets. Ended up getting Brandon LaFell. Great addition. He's going to be
Very
a great,
good addition. I think it's better than Curley, honestly.
Yeah, I agree too. And so we're going to be bringing in some veteran talent. Now all of a sudden we don't have to draft a wide receiver in the first couple rounds. Also we signed, and I love this signing, Carlos Dansby. I know the Browns wanted him back. He was
coming back.
Yeah, he was a cap casualty. It wasn't about performance. This guy's solid. He's a great locker room guy.
how is that a cap casualty? You guys have so much freaking money.
We ended up cutting him when we brought in Demario Davis. When we signed Davis, we cut Dansby.
Yeah, but they wanted Dansby back. He's now
Just
a Bengal.
cheaper,
Great.
He's going to be on the bench.
Great locker room guy. You know what you're going to get from him. 100 tackles a year. He can play any of the linebacker spots. He's great in coverage. He's great in pass rush. And hopefully he'll bring a little mentorship to a little Vontaze Burfict. So, you know, we're hoping
good luck with that.
Well, we're going to see. So, like I said, because nobody's arguing that Burfict doesn't have talent. So I really like the signing. Also, it doesn't make it a position of need, having re-signed Vinny Ray last week and now adding Dansby. Love the signing. Now all we're doing is waiting for Reggie Nelson to figure out.
Any word yet?
No word, but the contract's still on the table. They will take him back. It's still there. So, you know, if he's looking for a 2 or 3 year deal, hey, come back to Cincinnati, Reggie.
It'd be pretty cool if we can sneak him out in Cleveland.
I just want to note that this is adorable. That it says Puma on your jersey. I love it.
They had the contract.
So, okay, as this week's host, I want to take advantage here. I want to ask everyone this question. So, Mark, I'll start with you. Then after everyone's finished, I'll ask. Now that free agency is coming to an end, missing piece for the Bengals.
You know what? The Bengals are in a real enviable task in that they can go best available with the draft. I don't think we have a missing piece. I think we just need to add depth. Last year's draft, we drafted all quality guys, and only a couple of them were even able to crack in some starting time. So, I mean, that's just our guys, like our wide receiver coming up the ranks now, Mario Alford, he's finally going to probably hit the field this season. He was our pick last year.
Does he replace Sanu?
He replaces Marvin Jones.
Okay.
Because he's a speedster.
Okay.
So out of West Virginia. So the Bengals are just adding depth at different positions. I think we could use a linebacker. I think we could use a defensive lineman. Obviously a wide receiver. But none of them are positions in need because we signed the core guys we wanted to, and we you know, just got 2 new free agents that we love.
All right.
Well, it's good you guys get depth because, I mean, you're kind of shallow anyway. At least in the postseason.
Well, you know what? See, there's a hate talking. There's only one guy on the sofa who can say that we've been to the playoffs the last 5 consecutive seasons.
I remember
there's only 2 guys on this couch that can sit there and say they've won Super Bowl rings. So
well,
hey, if they count championships as Super Bowl rings, I
was waiting for it. I was waiting for it.
In your mom's basement, crying to the family dog because you suck. But that would only be if we counted championships, because we already know who the best team in the division was when there was championships.
No, you got like legit.
DGB, you're on a roll. What's going on in Cleveland?
All right, I'm going to lead off with Mingo gained 20 pounds. I think that sets him up to be a nice edge rusher.
It's the opposite of the Subway diet.
Yeah, that's the pot roast diet.
Weed chips,
Fuck
weed.
Jared, by the way.
Weed chips, weed.
Right? Fuck Jared.
The big news is RG3. We put him on. We brought him in, gave him a 2-year deal. The gentleman's 26. There's lots of hope that hopefully he's learned that he can't be a scrambling quarterback. He's got to be a stand-up guy in the pocket. I think with Hugh Jackson there, I think that'll help him. I really, really, really can't wait for the NFL to reinstate Josh Gordon. They say at the earliest that's going to be next week, that they'll give us some sort of information. If we are, and when they do, that gives us that RG3 to Gordon connection that they had in 2011, I believe, at Baylor,
right.
where they put up like 7-8 touchdowns and
Heisman
almost
season.
900
Yeah,
yards.
Heisman season.
That's a wicked stat line for like what, a
Are
couple
you
of
from
games.
Boston now? Wicked? Jesus.
Wicked crazy. Wicked smart.
The other news is that McCown, they're going to put Josh McCown on the trading block. I honestly think that is a very dumb idea. The guy brings us leadership. He's willing to train. He's willing to teach young quarterbacks. I don't see why we can't go into the season with RG3 as a starter, McCown as the second guy, and then we can go ahead and draft a guy in like the 3rd or the 4th round. Where we don't have to reach for a quarterback with that number 2 pick, and we can go best player available, which would I would go Ramsey, honestly. I think he's the best player in this draft.
So that's the thing. Is are you're not thinking going number 2 with a quarterback? You want to go BPA?
Yeah, BPA. I don't see any sense in drafting a quarterback at number 2.
I
With that offensive line that we have,
Yeah.
no, I don't see any sense in that.
Nice. All right. Cool. Rock on.
What's kind of interesting here is I know a few guys in Washington, some huge Redskins fans. I want to shout out Live the Truth and Khalid. It's rare that they want to see RG3 do well in Cleveland. When people leave the Steelers, I want them to do terrible. I
Yeah.
want them to score their last touchdown in Pittsburgh.
There's that hater again.
I'll take
the
that.
world
I'll take
already,
that.
man.
You know,
I'm right there with you. I mean,
RG3 is a great guy. He seems to be a very stand-up guy. Everything that he,
not when he's getting hit.
everything that he has gone through throughout his whole football career. The guy didn't start learning to play football till what, the 9th grade in high school? Like,
I've got faith.
But his,
and at the
I
age
think
of
that it's a good
26, there's a
his-
turnaround.
it's a good pickup if his head's in the right place now. If he's been brought back down to earth, because the big knock on RG3 is he was the last one in the building and the first one to leave. He wasn't a good locker room guy. He didn't want to study film. He didn't want to put in the time.
That's why I
that
think DC was a bad place for him.
Yeah.
DC is a star-studded town where you kind of buy into that like Los Angeles is.
Yeah.
Cleveland is a hard-nosed, let's get shit done type of town.
Look at the difference.
Yeah.
And I'm going to... basketball. The Cavs, and when they brought in J.R. Smith. J.R. Smith came from the Knicks. Big party guy, all that jazz. As soon as he got to Cleveland and realized that there was no nightlife there, he's like, look, there's nowhere to go. I have no choice but to read the book. I have no choice but to learn how to play and be in a system. I think that will happen with RG3, especially with the leadership of Hugh Jackson, and that's why I don't understand why they would want to trade Josh McCown. Because I think he can help bring that out of him.
I'll say something real quick also. Like, I know it's really easy to go the LOL Browns route, but on this, I think that it's actually, a brilliant pickup for you guys. RG3, I think he's already had really hard seasons, so you're not going to get that whole like, oh, I didn't realize what I was walking into, because the Browns have some work ahead of them. It's not for nothing. I think that you guys could legitimately, in a couple of years, 3 years, be more than just playoff contenders. I think also it's a good fit because I think Hugh Jackson, being the quarterback whisperer in the way that he is, could literally bring the best out of RG3.
They've already got, and I don't have the name written down and I don't remember the name, but it was some quarterback guru that they already decided that they were sending him to.
Yeah, he's here in Los Angeles working with them.
So
the guy who works with Tom Brady, right?
Exactly.
They're really trying to change the way this guy plays the game and to help instill that leadership that we do need from that position.
Exactly.
You think about it, he's only 26. He had one full season of football and a half a season and then got benched. So what are we getting? Nobody really knows.
Heisman Trophy winner.
Well,
Yeah,
there's a
so
lot
that's what it is.
Well, that's what you got.
A lot of tread on the tires, and if Haslam can stay out of it and let Hugh Jackson do his thing, it can be a great
I think
idea.
that's really key.
So real quick, before we get to Ravens news, I'm not making fun of you here. That is a Moneyball move.
Yeah,
That is a
absolutely.
Moneyball move. Yeah.
Hey, we'll lead into the Ravens stuff with on Tuesday. It was the 20th anniversary of the Browns moving from Cleveland to Baltimore. So fuck Art Modell.
Oh, really?
Fuck Art Modell.
You know,
Hey, come
here's how
on.
much respect that Art Modell had for the Browns. Whenever he moved the team to Baltimore, he didn't want to just name it like something random. He actually put on the table the Baltimore Bulldogs as a reference to the dog
He
pound
was
back.
a greedy bitch who didn't get a stadium built
all
for
right.
him when they were building Jacobs Field and the Gund Arena. And he didn't get a stadium. And he bitched out and
You know what?
whined
Don't
and
get me
complained
wrong.
and left.
Real quick, just so everyone's aware of my stance on the Browns moving to the Ravens, becoming the Ravens, I was not a fan of taking another team to make our team. Not the way that we were done by the Colts. That never sat right with any Baltimore Ravens
that was
fan.
bullshit.
And not from your division.
Exactly.
Not from
Not
your
from our division. And it's like, in general, that never felt good to us. So I totally get
Good to
the-
him as a Baltimore fan for being up front.
No,
upfront
that
with
never, ever
You
felt
know, and that
good.
was merely stated at the first meeting when we met at the bar.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
seriously, we brought that up, and there was no animosity.
Yeah,
there.
it really
The
isn't.
hatred's purely directed at Art Modell.
Modell.
And
All
Art
right,
Modell said,
all right,
Hey,
All right,
you
so
know what, I'm a
Ravens,
business-
let's-
I'm a
let's go into
business guy.
Baltimore.
So, it was Art Modell's
all right,
team. Move
so-
the team if you want.
So here's Baltimore news. Not a lot that happened. The day after we posted our last show, unfortunately we lost Trey Walker.
Yes.
It's an extremely sad thing. So we wound up losing a gentleman who's about to go into his second year of NFL professional football. And it's exactly why I truly believe the NFL stands for not prolong. You got to be careful out there. You got to watch yourself. So the other thing is that we lost. We also lost a player to the Falcons. Courtney Upshaw wound up signing with the Falcons. I don't think that's a good fit for him, but hey, he got the money. He got paid. He was a fantastic player for us. I did a lot of research into Mike Wallace this week because there was a lot of hate on Mike Wallace from other teams, from
this guy.
Yeah.
And it's legitimate. And here's the thing: is that after really just going through his tape and his footage over the last 4 years, and that's legitimate. It literally went through. I think that whenever he was in Miami, whenever he was in Minnesota, he didn't fit into their scheme very well. And I just think that he was well, why the hell try? He lost focus, he lost, his drive. I think that him signing with the Ravens is going to be, I don't think it's going to be epic, but I think it's going to be surprising his production as far as what he puts out. So I think that because he is a deep threat, he and Joe, that. I'm really hoping that that's what comes out of it. Do we know yet? We won't know till the season starts, so it's a question mark. But that is my genuine hope. I know that you hate that he goes anywhere after playing for the Steelers, but fuck you. I'm glad that he's.
I've read 3 different
Mike,
beat
everything
writers.
he just said.
3 different beat writers all think it's a great move.
Yeah.
It was a horrible system fit. Miami was simply, they were trying to grab headlines. That was the Miami owner, I forget his name, playing Daniel Snyder, just buying names to kind of excite the fan base. Not a good fit. Wasn't a fit in Minnesota. He's probably a good fit where he's at now.
Yeah.
And hopefully Steve Smith can light a fire under him.
I
Get him that
If
passion.
anybody can,
It's Steve Smith.
Smith,
So
exactly.
here's why I do think that is a decent pickup for you guys. If Roethlisberger had a smaller, uglier, kind of funny looking, less talented brother, I think it'll be Flacco. They're both guys.
Are you
gonna
feeling
chuck it
the
down the
hate?
field.
Oh my
You
God,
gotta do
you
it. Chuck
feeling
it
the
down the
hate?
field and let him go get it.
You realize that Joe Flacco is actually bigger and taller than Big Ben, right?
Except the
Who
only
you
difference.
taking in the octagon?
Taking
I will take
Ralph
Flacco. He's wiry.
On that, we'll move on
I'll
to
take
Steelers.
Flacco on that. I'm not even a big, huge Flacco fan. I'm not wacko for Flacco, but I take Flacco because
In the
As
octagon?
a
All right.
Bengal fan and a Brown fan here, I think we can both say that we would love to see Ben and Flacco beat the
How
shit out of
funny
each other in the octagon.
That's a one-way
That's how you should
That is a
spend your
one-way
off
fight.
season.
All right, Steelers news. Here's what's going on in
That'll beat the
Pittsburgh.
fucking shit out of you. That's shit, man.
Here's what's going on
That's
in
a fight I'll
Pittsburgh.
pay to see.
What's going on is kind of the waiting game. What's more interesting to me than the moves we are making are the moves we're not making. So there are 2 positions right now where our backups were either let go or have not yet been signed. Last episode, I talked about how Antoine Blake is gone. Now here, Boykins is gone. That's two of our cornerbacks, and we did not have a deep secondary to begin with.
No, you didn't.
No, you really didn't.
I think that's very indicative of what we intend to do in this year's draft. Also, the quarterback position. We still have Bones Jones, but Bruce Gradkowski, who I played against at South Fayette, what's up, Bruce? And also Mike Vick, who are backup quarterbacks for Ben, not signed. They're still free agents. I think that's very indicative as to what we plan to do in this year's draft. I can definitely see us taking a cornerback first, second round, possibly both, and then maybe another quarterback in the third.
Okay. So here's my question though: is like you're in at this point, whenever you're looking at it, who's your first round draft pick?
Eli Apple.
I like Eli Apple. I think Eli Apple from Ohio State, correct? I think he's the guy. I mean, he's a big physical corner. I think he's a better Ike Taylor.
He can play. He can play the run.
Yeah, he can. He really can.
And you can move
All
him
right,
around.
so
He can play the slot
throwing
coverage.
that question. Yeah, throwing that question back to you. What missing pieces do you see?
Cornerback. The league is evolving to a passing league. It already has evolved to a passing league.
Yeah.
Let's make no mistake here. And that's where the Steelers have lacked. And ever since it has become solely a passing league, we have not won Super Bowls. So,
Well, that's because you got Big Ben as your quarterback.
who is an awesome passing quarterback, by the way. His little
In a
uglier, less
fantasy draft,
attractive
I'd
brother.
take Roethlisberger over Flacco.
Yeah, no.
Any day. So I'll let these guys stop the suffering. We're going to start a new segment here. We're going to kick off a new segment for our fans out there, and this segment is called
What's up with that?
"What's Up with That?"
What's up with that?
What's up with that? So we're going to start with Adam Schefter of ESPN, who is quoted as saying the Cleveland Browns are treated like a college experience.
I can just see. Do you feel the energy?
Yeah, he's ready to go.
He's like, I hate all
a
of
college experience where players are 2, 3, 4 years and done. What that essentially means is after you're drafted in the top 5 round or top 5 picks by Cleveland, because they're going to be in the top 5 picks. Once your rookie deal is up, you're going to go somewhere else for possibly less money, same money, but because they're a contender. So, DGBG.
Ownership, accountability, and a game plan, along with picking the right players in the draft, not reaching for players, continuity, are all things that need to happen.
That's 6 things.
All right, name one. Name
That's
one thing.
everything that he just said is what they haven't done over the last 10
Name
years.
one thing that you're going to do to keep your 2016 first round draft pick.
Yes.
We're gonna put W's in the column, in the win column.
So it's a win thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Winning covers everything. Completely covers everything. The second you start losing is the second you start to see in-house bickering, that type of stuff. Winning will cover it all.
So here's my question off of that one is that with that being viewed as basically, according to again this reporter, being a 4-year college, by the time 4 years is up, you guys may have finally done whatever it is you need to do. I don't know that I'd call it rebuilding either. I'm not a big fan of that term
No,
for
I don't
you
like
guys. I don't think it's a rebuild. I don't even know if reboot.
We
I think it's
never even laid the foundation to anything.
Yeah.
So
I think it's
seriously,
just.
we're not
I
rebuilding.
literally think it's just building.
Yeah.
It's just building. With that being said, the next 2 years are probably going to be a little rough. They're not going to be as rough as they've been, but I still think they're going to be a little rough. So how do you try and retain your players that you draft for the next 2 years if you're not getting those W's?
You sell them on where we are
You gotta
headed.
sell them.
You
You
sell
have to
them
sell
to
them.
where we're going.
Yep.
If they buy into the idea that this actually has a chance to go there, they'll be more than happy to re-sign a 1 or a 2 year deal just to see. And then if it's not the way it's supposed to go, the way it was built to them, then they'll opt out. But yeah, winning covers everything.
That's what
Here's the
Harbaugh's
thing.
doing in Michigan. Michigan was a shit show for the past couple of years. Harbaugh
Yeah.
comes in, sells the kids on winning. This is where we're heading. Forget where we've been. Let's
It's
go.
not about the past, it's about what we're going to do in the future.
Yeah,
and continuity.
Yes.
You guys have got to maintain continuity. That means you're giving Hugh Jackson at least 3 years, if not 4, and Haslam keeps his hands off
Haslam,
and
yes,
lets
yes.
this coaching staff that Hughes put together do their job.
Right.
All right,
I
all right.
completely agree with that.
Yeah.
So if you're watching last episode, then you know we're starting off a second new segment as well. Mark, do you want to kick us off with what's in the mailbag?
We have the mailbag from Taylor Smith, and he says, he's a Browns fan, my question may be on the verge of blasphemy, but since the Browns are going into full rebuild, should they trade Joe Thomas while they still has value and see what they can get for him? If so, what do you think is the minimum they should take for him? Just a first and a third? Let me know what you think.
I don't think trading Joe Thomas is the answer, no matter how many draft picks we can get for the guy. He's the only constant on the offensive line in an offseason where there's been a lot of changes on the offensive line.
Do you have any other locker room guys?
Whitner. Jesus. Outside of Whitner, I can't think
That's
of
the
him.
reason I think you
Joe
can
Hayden. Maybe Joe Hayden.
Yeah, but he's on his way out.
I actually think that's the reason why you keep McCown. But as far as trading Joe Thomas, I'm personally not in favor of it. If we did trade Joe, I think we could get a first round, maybe a third round. I would imagine that they would be staggered between 2 seasons. But I think that if we did, it would be to a contending team.
Yeah.
So they would be late round picks.
Yeah, I just don't think I agree. It's like I don't think that trading Joe would be a good move. Like
It doesn't fit the analytical thought process.
Yeah.
No, and if he's your locker room guy, you got to keep him. And you also, the only way I see a team stepping up and giving you a 1 and a 3 is if it's a team that thinks that Joe Thomas is the missing piece.
Right.
Otherwise, they're not going to give you a 1 and a 3.
guy we need.
Yeah.
So.
All right, well, hey, we want to send some shout-outs to some of the fans who have commented on our past YouTube videos, specifically this last video here. We want to send some shout-outs to Brown Shoe T2.
Love talking to you.
Yeah, brother.
Nothing but Jesus and football.
And
I love that guy.
Nothing,
That's
love
the
the
best
name.
handle.
Ashwin,
What's up,
Yeah.
brother?
Spade Ninja 9,
Mm-hmm.
Ehigh Bar, who's always out there. He knows his
Oh, yeah,
football. And my personal favorite, even though I'm going to butcher the name,
Rodover
Casuals.
Rodover Casuals, yeah.
My man's over in Europe checking us out. That is
Yeah.
awesome to have fans.
I actually-
Yeah, and he had a great question
Yes, he
great Bengal
did.
question
Yes, he
a
did.
couple weeks ago.
I actually-
so he's a fan of the North.
Exactly. I actually want to also throw a shout out to Mr. Ubertater, who
Yes.
is also our pick of the week. We got a lot
Yes.
of emails with questions,
Yes.
and that Joe Thomas question was just brilliant.
Yep.
Like, I love
Mr.
it.
Smith, I do
So-
need a GoFundMe account to achieve your last
So-
question.
If they want their question out there, what do they do?
So if you want your question out here for the next mailbag, I was about to say Ravens mailbag. That was totally screwed
It's
up.
not a Ravens
No,
mailbag.
It's like if you want a question
Say
out there
North.
for the AFC Northerners mailbag, any of the teams,
Steelers.
send it to afcnortherners@gmail.com with subject line of mailbag. If you send it to us on a video and we choose you, we will put you on the air with us and respond to your question. So again, no matter what your team, ask us the question, afcnortherners@gmail.com. If you have the chance to record yourself in a little video, we don't care if it's iPhone, whatever. The question is what matters to us. Your passion is what matters to us. Send it to us, afcnortherners@gmail.com, and we will answer it on the air if you have the best question.
Nice. I would love to have a lady fan too. Just
Oh,
saying.
yeah.
I would love to have a lady fan.
All right.
So, sorry, Mom. We're gonna have to sign off like we always do here with my least favorite team. Guys,
Fuck the Patriots! And their first round draft pick.
Yeah.
Hey, go
we'll
Tribe.
see you
Start
next
spring
time.
up.
We'll see you next
Let's
time.
go!
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, guys.